G'day all, welcome to part 2 as we explore this beautiful area of the Lindsay Mulcra and Mulcra Island area located in the beautiful Murray Sunset National Park. Sun's about to set, just about to head off for a nighttime walk, maybe jump in the car and go for a bit of a nighttime drive, see what we can find. So come join me as we explore this area by night, then in the morning we'll go for a bit more of an explore. With the fading light of the setting sun and the shadows cast from a day of promise all gone, this area starts to open up to a different spectacle of nature. With the odd kookaburra trying to resist the temptation of sleep, all types of creatures of the night are starting to awaken. Walking past at first, a slight movement caught my eye. After some initial excitement, I thought it was a possum, a pygmy possum at that. However, after some further identification, my excitement was short-lived, as this little guy is a black rat, another one of Australia's introduced pest species. Although land-based, they are similar in ways to carp. Highly invasive, rats not only spread disease, but also displace native wildlife. Hollows are prime real estate, and vital to our native wildlife, and with the continued removal of our old-growth native trees, becoming harder to come by. Disappointing to not just find one, but two rats taking up residence in this hollow. I've lightened up this footage to show a second rat, trying to get into the video. Moving on from the rats, I came across this tree skink, sitting in a hollow. Not a nocturnal species, but with the fading light, just starting to bed down for the night. As the name suggests, these skinks shelter in hollows, under bark, and between narrow rock crevices. With a bit of water around and the summer humidity, I would suggest the weather was just right to bring out the frogs, as I didn't just find one species, but amazingly 3 species of frog for the night. The spotted marsh frog, with its beautiful patterns draped around its body, round pupil and bronze to golden iris, found in all eastern states including southeast South Australia, preferring slow-moving waterways and still water courses. The eastern banjo frog, the biggest of the 3 species found tonight, similar in distribution and habitat to the spotted marsh frog. And the Parent's tree frog, a common species found in forests, woodlands, shrublands and open areas. The Parent's tree frog is one of the most variably coloured species of frog in Australia. Not far from the frogs is this tessellated gecko, doing its best to blend in with the surrounding environment. A nocturnal gecko, mainly feeding on insects. During the day, it rests in ground cracks, crevices, abandoned spider holes, and under debris. Heading back to camp, I came across this tawny frogmouth, perched high in the old black box tree. One of my favourite birds of the night, with their large yellow eyes, large wide beak, and their amazing ability to camouflage themselves. When under duress, these birds will elongate their head and neck, then slim down their bodies in an attempt to look like the end of a branch. Very common and widespread across Australia, including Tasmania. Tawny frogmouths are often confused with owls, however they are not in the owl family, being in the same family as nightjars. So as we say goodnight to this amazing bird, I head back to camp to get some rest and prepare for a new day of amazing wildlife in this beautiful region. Before the morning sun has lifted above the tree-lined horizon, the air is filled with bird calls, being pushed along by the slight breeze. A whistling kite, ready to start its day, just like I am with mine. Normally seen gliding above the waterways, with a call of a whistle that is high-pitched, long and drawn out. This Australasian darter, drying itself after a morning feed, being irritated by something stuck to the top of its beak. bird going about its own business, I was unable to get close enough to gauge what it was. This footage shows the aggressive nature of some of our native bird species. This peregrine falcon, sitting quietly overseeing the vast countryside, before being scared off by this much smaller and more fearless willy wagtail, defending its territory. Another Australasian darter, very common in these waterways, its large webbed feet clinging to this small branch, which I'm surprised it held the bird's weight. These little black cormorants, with their emerald green eyes, keeping an attentive watch over any approaching danger. Like I mentioned in part 1, there are carp everywhere in these waterways. Unsure what this small school is up to, but they appear to be gasping for air just below the surface. A white-faced heron, vibrating its feet and scratching around the shallows in an attempt to scare out a meal, which will include fish, frogs and insects. A common and nomadic bird, following the food supply, and a bird which migrates north over winter. A black-tailed native hen, feeding on the banks of the river. With its brightly yellow-coloured eye, its distinctive green-coloured frontal shield, and orangey-red lower mandible. These birds feed on grass shoots, herbs, seeds, insects and snails. A brown tree creeper, looking out for its next meal. And looks like the peregrine falcon has found a more peaceful spot on the other side of the river. The footage may not be the clearest, however the rufous songlark perched high in the treetop, with its beautiful continuous musical call. Prefers grassy woodlands and open shrubland areas, and another one of our bird species which migrates to the southern states during the warmer months. A pair of Australian wood ducks, a very common and nomadic species of duck. This pair taking refuge in the safety of the river. Generally grazes on grasses, however will take the odd insect. With the warning calls of the local miner birds letting me know danger was approaching. However, seeing me before I seen it, this lace monitor, before I could even touch my camera, it was already heading up the trunk of this river red gum, in an effort to take refuge. Growing up to 2 metres long, these common, terrestrial and often arboreal monitors forage over long distances. Mainly carrion eaters, feeding on already dead carcasses of other wildlife. Clinging tight to the trunk of this tree, there was no way it was coming down in a hurry, so I decided to leave it, and on my return, it had disappeared. The yellow rosella, a subspecies of the crimson rosella, taking shelter in the shade. And as I head back to camp to pack up and call my trip a success, I came across this eastern great egret, waiting patiently for something to swim past. And before you could blink, it had made its lightning quick strike, catching this fish before swallowing whole and washing it down with a quick drink. So as this trip comes to an end, I'm constantly reminded of the contrasting landscapes. And as I head back towards the old mail road, I hope you enjoyed this look at what lies off the beaten track. Feel free to like and subscribe, and keep your eyes out for more videos as I explore this beautiful countryside and its amazing wildlife. Thanks for watching.